Hello and welcome to our class. This class is called Essential Oils on a Shoestring Budget, and I am so excited to share with you guys how there is a program out there now that will help you to be able to afford essential oils no matter how tight your budget is. And it does not involve sharing oils with other people. It doesn't involve selling oils. It's just a new program that makes it possible for everyone to be able to afford the highest quality oils and the purest oils on the planet. And I am so excited to get into this class with you. But first of all, let me introduce myself. For those that don't know me, my name is Sandy Scarfy, and I am an essential oil lover. I'm with thisvitalstuff.com, and that's the sponsor for this class, and I'm just so excited. 4 years ago, I'd never even heard of essential oils, had no clue what they were, never heard the term. And then someone introduced me to them, and I got a few as a Christmas gift in 2013. And I really didn't take me any time at all to fall in love with what they could do for me and for my family. And I'm telling you, I just haven't turned back since. Now, this class that we're doing is not an introduction to oils class where we talk about the benefits of the oils and how they all come from plants, how to apply them, and all that kind of stuff. This class is geared toward those who already know the benefits of the essential oils. They know that they're going to save you money in the long run because they're going to help you to stay well. Maybe you've been wanting to miss fewer work days, or maybe you wanting to feel better so you can get more done. Or maybe you want to try to avoid some future medical bills, but your finances have been holding you back a little bit. This class is for you. We're going to do 4 things in this class. First, we're going to talk about what determines the cost or the price of an essential oil. And believe it or not, it's not how effective that oil is. That has not determined the price. Next, we're going to talk about what are the best priced oils, both the cheapest per unit and the lowest out-of-pocket cost. Then we're going to talk about ways to stretch your oil and ways to avoid wasting your oils once you get them. Then the 4th thing I'm going to be excited, I can't wait to get to, is to tell you guys about this new program that's going to make it possible for everyone, and I mean everyone, to afford essential oils. If your budget is really tight, if you can afford just a couple dollars a month or even $1 a month, we can help you get essential oils in your home, and I'm just so excited about that. Now, before I really get into the class, let me just mention that I'm only going to be speaking of the Young Living essential oils. It's just the only company that I trust enough to recommend. And the more I learn about their seed to seal promise and their pledge of purity, the more I appreciate all the steps they go into to make sure that there's nothing in that oil that's not supposed to be there, and there's everything in that oil that is supposed to be there. The levels of the different constituents have to be high, and it can't have any impurities, any chemicals, any of that kind of stuff in there. And I trust them. And so that's the only oils that I'm going to be speaking of. When I talk about putting that orange into your drink or your food, just know that not every oil can go inside. Not every oil is supposed to go inside. When I talk about that, I'm speaking only of the white label Vitality line with Young Living that we know we can put inside our bodies because it's a good one for our bodies and because it's pure enough to go inside. Let me give you one little word of caution before we jump in. When a lot of people think about getting a good price, they think about Amazon or eBay or something like that. But you need to know that Young Living does not allow, which means it's against company rules, for its independent distributors or even its wholesale members to sell any Young Living products on a site like Amazon or eBay. So if someone is doing that, they are probably less than honest. And there's no way for you to know if they have refilled a Young Living bottle with either a diluted oil or an inferior oil and then recapped it with a new lid. And it's very easy to do that. So when you're buying from someone who's already cutting corners and breaking rules, there is just no way to know for sure what's inside that bottle. And so you need to be aware of that you do take that risk if you try to buy from a source other than the actual company, okay? All right, so let's get started. I have my notes all ready, and we are ready to go. Okay, so first, what determines the price of an oil? There I have 7 different factors that come into play. The first one is simply what plant or what species is used. Obviously, everything has different prices, and some plants or some species of plants are more expensive or less expensive to get the seeds or the seedling plants and also to grow them. So what you're growing obviously is going to come into play. Number two is what part of the plant does the oil come from? If we're harvesting the oil from the flower petals off of a plant, we can do that many times, not even just in the life cycle of the plant, but many times in the same season. Sometimes you can get those petals and harvest those petals. But if we're talking about getting oils from the root of a plant that has to grow 30 years before you can harvest it, you're talking about getting one harvest out of that plant after 30 years. So you can see there's a huge difference in where you get the oils. Another option with plants, some trees, you don't have to take the roots, but you tap the trees, similar to what a maple tapping would be for maple syrup. You tap the tree, you take the resin out, and then you can distill that resin. And so that tree doesn't have to be taken down, it can be used again the next year. So yeah, a lot of variation on what parts of the plants, and that makes a big difference in the price. Number three, checking my notes here, is the health of the species. If there's been any kind of a blight in that country, for instance, several years back there was a big blight in the lavender fields in France and almost wiped them out. That kind of thing, or a major insect infestation, can have a factor in the price of the plant because that factors into the availability of the plants. Number four is actually availability. This is a little different than what we were just talking about though, because some plants can grow in a number of places and they can grow abundantly. For instance, your citrus trees, your lemon, your orange, your lime, those can be grown in a lot of places and they can be grown rather abundantly. But something like the sacred frankincense, it only grows in one area of one country in the Middle East. And that country really guards that resource and closely guards it, and it limits the exporting and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of restrictions on it. So the price on sacred frankincense is a bit higher. Number five is how much of the plant material is actually needed to get the oil. Rose is one of those ones that we harvest the flower petals, but it takes 60,000 rose petals to make a bottle of oil the size of this bottle of orange. This bottle right here. If this were rose oil in here, this would be $185 for this bottle. So yeah, you can see that how much plant material is needed has a big factor in the price. The number six is how much labor or equipment or time does it take to harvest it? How much work is it to get those 60,000 rose petals for each bottle of oil? How much machinery does it take to cut down the tree and dig up the roots and chop them up and get them to the distillery? All those things come into play. And then seven is just the overhead of the company. Obviously, every company has overhead. They're going to have farms and buildings. They're going to have to buy machinery and maintain it. They're going to have utilities, and they're going to have employees, payroll and benefits. In a essential oil company, you are also going to have testing and research and education. And then, fortunately, a multi-level company like Young Living doesn't have the big advertising budget that other companies do. They choose instead to pay that money to their independent distributors. So that's a good thing, that you're not going to have that big advertising budget with Young Living. So you can see there's a lot of factors that come into play to determine the cost of an oil. All right, the second thing we're talking about today is the best pricing. We've got two aspects here. You've got the best unit pricing, and then you've got the lowest out-of-pocket cost. So let's talk about the unit pricing first. Everybody knows kind of how Sam's Club or BJ's or Costco does their pricing. You're going to get some really good bargains there, but to do that, you're going to be buying a large quantity. Like, you can get paper towels really cheap per roll, but you may have to buy 30 rolls to get that bargain price per roll. So it does take a little bit more out of pocket. Saves you money in the long run. If you have the money to get those 30, it's definitely the better way to go, but not everyone can do that. Obviously, it's the best value, so that's what you always want to do when you can. So let's look at that premium starter kit from Young Living. It is the best value on the Young Living website. It is the only thing that's priced at half off retail. And that's the one that has those 11 oils and the diffuser and the samples and all those other goodies that you get with it, and that the one that lets you become a wholesale member and gives you a 24% discount on all future purchases. That one is the best price per unit. You're going to get your oils at and your diffuser at the cheapest price possible. Because you get so much, it does have a higher out-of-pocket cost, but it is definitely the best value that you're going to find on the website. But if we're talking about individual oils, there are actually 27 oils on the Young Living website that sell for 10 cents per drop wholesale. Now, why are we talking about per drop? Because with the essential oils, many times a use or an application of the oils is simply one drop. So we're going to be talking about the cost per drop. So you wonder what they are? Let me get my list out here. Okay, 27 oils that are 10 cents or less per drop. At 10 cents, we have basil, the Blend Energy, celery seed, and tea tree oil. At 9 cents per drop, we have lavender, peppermint, and the Blend RC. That's a really good one, that Blend RC, for your respiratory system. A lot of people put that on their chest. It really is helpful. Actually, lavender, peppermint, and RC, these three at 9 cents, are some of the most widely used oils. They just have a lot of good uses for them. At 8 cents, Palmarosa, Wintergreen, Melrose, Citronella, Cypress, and Fennel. Fennel is really good for your stomach. I shared some with someone a few months back for their stomach, and they were really pleased with the results they got. And let's see, at 7.5 cents per drop, we have one of the eucalyptus varieties, and we have the Blend Purification. Now, let me mention here, this isn't even one of my tips for stretching your oils, but let me mention it here. Blends are a really good way to get a lot for a little bit of money. This purification blend, that's 7.5 cents per drop, has 6 different kinds of oils in it. RC, that one for 10 cents a drop, has 10 different oils, 9 cents a drop, has 10 different oils in it. So it's a way to buy one bottle and get the benefits from many different oils. So that's a good thing to do. At 7 cents per drop, we have grapefruit. Coming in at 6 cents a drop is rosemary, another eucalyptus variety, pine, tangerine, citrus fresh, and clove. Clove is a really good one for your cardiovascular. That's your heart, so that's a really good one for that. At 5 cents per drop, we have lime, and also the oils that are blended together for pets and farm animals. At 4.5 cents, we have lemon, lemongrass, cedarwood, and at 4 cents we have orange. Now, don't let the price fool you. These 4 oils that are the lowest in price per drop are some of the best for you. Where's my list? Let me see if I wrote this down here. They cover so many of our different systems. Let me see. Oh, I didn't write that down there. These 4, the orange, lemon, lemongrass, and cedarwood, help 8 different systems in our body. Orange by itself helps your digestive system, your immune system, your skin, and your mind. So yeah, they're pretty awesome even at that price. Don't let the price fool you, okay? Then we have the lowest out-of-pocket price. This would be like buying 1 roll of paper towels at Walmart, okay? You're going to not spend a lot of money out of your pocket, but you're going to get a smaller quantity. The 1 roll versus the 30 rolls at Sam's or Costco. Now, Young Living has what they call the basic starter kit that is a lower price because it's much smaller. It's a quarter of the cost of the premium kit, and it's only $45. Now, you're going to get an oil, you're going to get the samples and the other goodies, and you're going to get that wholesale membership with the 24% discount on future orders. But you're not going to get that package of 11 oils, and you're not going to get the diffuser. But it is a lower out-of-pocket cost. Now, on the Young Living website, when we're talking about individual oils, there are a lot of oils that are very economically priced. There are actually 65 oils that are priced at $25 per less. There are 46 oils that come in under $20. When we're talking about $15 or less, there are 33. And when we're talking about $10 or less, there are 10 oils. Want to hear that list? Okay, here we go. At $10, we have peppermint. At $8.75 is fennel. At $7.50, there's the blend Citrus Fresh, grapefruit, rosemary, and tangerine. At $6.25, we have lemon, orange, and lemongrass. And our winner for our lowest out-of-pocket price at $5.75 wholesale is lime. Again, don't let the price fool you. Lime alone is good for your digestive system, your immune system, your respiratory system. It has a very uplifting smell, and it's one that a lot of people put into their do-it-yourself personal care products. So again, don't let the price fool you on the value of the oils. Okay, now the third thing we're going to talk about are my tips on how to stretch your oils and how to not waste them. Now, keep in mind that 1 drop of an essential oil has super, super tiny molecules in it. Those molecules are really tiny. 1 drop has 40 million trillion molecules of oil in it. So what is that number? That's huge. That's a 40 with 18 zeros. So it's like 40, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and one more set of 0, 0, 0. That's enough for every cell in the average adult human body to have 400,000 molecules of that 1 drop of essential oil in it. So with essential oils, a little really does go a long way, and less really is more. It does not take much oil to get the benefit from it. So what are my 10 tips? Here we go. The first tip, okay, here it comes. Take the oils out of the package. Take them out of the box, take them out of the envelope, however they come, take them out of the package and actually use them. A lot of people get their oils, and then because they're unsure of exactly how to do things, they don't use them at all. That is a total waste of your money and a total waste of the oils. Every oil that Young Living sells can be applied aromatically, where you just smell it through your nose. So you can always just take the lid off and smell it, or put it into a diffuser. Now there are reference books and reference apps out there that you can get. You can look up the oil and it'll tell you all about how to use it and the best things to use it for, and some benefits of applying it in different places, all that kind of thing. Just remember, the important thing is to just get it on your body, get it into your bloodstream. But if you don't have any of that stuff, you can always just ask me. I can look it up for you and let you know how to use that oil and how to get the benefits from it. Number 2, keep the lids on your bottles. Okay, the oils do evaporate. They call that being volatile. And if they didn't evaporate, we wouldn't be able to smell them. But they do evaporate. And so if you just take your lid off and leave your bottle sit out, it will eventually completely evaporate. So make sure you put your lids on tightly. I had an oil that I knew had a lot left in the bottle, and I hadn't used it for a few months, and when I went back to get it, the lid was not on very tightly, and yeah, the bottle was empty. So I do not want that to happen to you. You don't want to lose your oils just to evaporation. So make sure you keep your lids on. Number 3, when you're talking about applying to your body, to your skin, you want to dilute your oils. It is always okay to dilute an oil. That doesn't change how potent the oil is. All it does is spread it out. And remember that huge number of molecules in each drop? You don't even need all of those at one time. So to dilute definitely helps. Now, especially say you want to cover a shoulder with the oil. Maybe you've exercised and you want to cover this neck right here or your shoulder. You don't want to take the oil on that entire area and use that much essential oil. So dilute it down. Then you can cover this whole area, maybe only use 1 or 2 drops of an oil. All right, number 4 seems very basic, but it's just to use less oil each time. If you're putting it into your water, and just start with 1 drop. In fact, something like peppermint that has a lot of flavor, you really only want 1 drop anyway. But some of the others, the flavor is not as strong, so some people like to put 4, 5, 6, 7 drops in their water. Start with just 1, see if that works for you. You'll get the benefit of it even if it's just 1. Now, if you have a recipe to put in your water or your diffuser that calls for 2 drops of this and 3 drops of that and 4 drops of another one, you can take an empty bottle or one of those little sample bottles that come with the kit, those little empty tiny ones, and you can put the different drops in there, and then just use 1 or 2 drops of that blend that you've made in your diffuser or in your water. So you can use less. You don't have to use as many drops as it says. Let's see. Number 5 deals with diffusers. If your diffuser has a setting for intermittent use, that's a really good thing to use to make your oils last longer. I have a little teeny tiny diffuser. It literally is about 3 inches tall in my piano room at school. And if I set it to just run, it runs for half an hour. If I set it on intermittent, it runs for 6 hours. So yeah, the intermittent is really an awesome feature. I can get the benefit of that drop or 2 of oil all day long. My students get a benefit of it as they come in and out of the room. Now, if you don't have the intermittent setting, you can maybe get one of those light timers that you use while you're on vacation to make your lights go on and off. Your diffuser might work well with that. And so that's a really good thing to do. Tip number 6 also deals with our diffusers. There are better and worse places to put your diffuser. The higher up you get it in the room, the more it's going to spread out into the room. Obviously, if you have it sitting on a low table, when it comes out, it's going to go up, but it's not going to go very high before it starts to spread out. So you want to get the diffuser up high in the room. You want to avoid putting it near, like, an open window or a door to the outside. You may want to avoid putting it next to an air conditioning intake or something like that. Just be aware of which direction the flow is going once you turn it on, and then you can adjust from there. See, tip number 7. You can use alternative oil, I'll put it that way. When you look up a situation and in a book or an app, there's going to be a long list of oils that you can use. If you have any of those oils, just use that one that you have. That list is going to have some more expensive oils and some less expensive oils on it. But everybody's body is a little bit different. Just like what gives you a headache that may not give me a headache, you may find that one of these oils that you have works best for you, better than any of the other ones that are there. So go ahead and use the alternative oil. For instance, there are some things that frankincense does that lavender also does. Frankincense is at least 3 times the cost of lavender, maybe even 4. And so yeah, if it says both of those and you have lavender, use the lavender. Definitely start with the least expensive oil and see if that one will meet your needs. Number 8. This one is kind of, stick with me on this one, okay? Number 8 is to leave your oils in their bottles. Now, are you saying don't use them? Not at all. We already talked about that in number 1. Get the bottles out and use them. But one of the ways to apply an oil is to breathe it in aromatically. And so you can simply open the bottle, put it up to your nose, and breathe it in. And you've gotten the application of the oil without using even a whole drop. I like to take the oil and just breathe it in several times. I have some oil in this little teeny tiny bottle that a friend sent me. And I like to just start my day with this one. It smells so good. But I don't want to use it up because it's just got a little bit in it. So I will just open it up, smell it, take 3 or 4 or 5 deep breaths in the morning. And that's just a really good oil to start my day with. So you can do that. You only use that little tiny bit that evaporated while you had the lid off. So that's another option. That's also a very efficient way to get that application. If you don't want the whole room full of the oil, it's just for you, then you can do that. Number 9 is that if you want to, see, I don't have a title for number 9. Number 9 is to share the oils by use of a diffuser. Okay, if you have several people in the room, if your family's in the kitchen or you have friends over and you're in the family room or something like that, when you diffuse in a room, everyone in the room gets the benefit of the oil. So it's a really easy way to share the love of the oil without actually having to, have people put a drop on them. They can get that benefit by diffusing. So one diffuser can service quite a few people. And tip number 10 actually has several tips inside of a tip. But tip number 10 is that an empty bottle is not necessarily empty. You take a toothpick or something, you pop that little white reducer out of the bottle, you may find 1, 2, 3, 5 drops of oil still in the bottom of that bottle. And also, even if there is no oil left, once you've gotten the last drops out, you can still, as long as you can smell that oil, you can still get that aromatic application out of an empty bottle. I have an empty lavender that I do that with right now. Another thing you can do with your empty bottles is to soak them. You can soak them in water, and then you can use that water in your diffuser, or you can use that water, add some Epsom salts, and use that in your bath for a really neat bath. So there they are, my 10 tips. Now the fourth thing I want to talk about today, the thing I've been dying to get to, is this new program. And this is going to make it possible, this is going to make it possible for everyone, even if you have a really tight budget, to be able to afford essential oils. If your finances have been holding you back, this is for you, okay? Now, I've been praying about, how can I use my Young Living to help people? And I've talked to a lot of people that I know could really benefit from the oils, but they just don't feel like they have the extra money to spend on them. The finances are tight here or tight there or whatever. They just don't feel like they have enough extra to buy the oils. And I've been praying about it, and I got this idea. I guess you could say God gave it to me. He didn't speak to me in a loud voice, but after I was praying about it, this idea came to me. It just kind of really hit me hard one day. And so This Vital Stuff has started a new program. Now, with this program, you can choose to get oils, you can choose to get the basic starter kit, you can choose to get the premium starter kit that has all the bells and whistles, the 11 oils, the diffuser, all that good stuff. You could choose to get some of the chemical-free makeup, you could choose cleaning products, anything off the Young Living website. That's up to you. There is no referring anyone required. There's no selling of anything required. It's not a company-sponsored program. It's sponsored by thisvitalstuff.com. So you're not going to find it on the Young Living website. You're only going to find it on thisvitalstuff.com. So there are 3 aspects to this program. First is a reduced price. If you're already a wholesale member, that means you've already bought one of those starter kits, you can use your 24% discount with this program. If you're not a wholesale member and you're just a retail customer, I'm going to get you a 10% discount on all the products that you buy. Second aspect of the program is that it's going to be reduced shipping. In fact, if you're local to me in Northern Virginia, you won't pay any shipping. You'll just pay for the product and the tax. If you're not local to me, you're going to pay a flat $3 for your tax and your shipping. That's it. So that's like a drastic savings right there. And then the third aspect is that you are going to choose the products, and you are going to choose the amount, and you are going to choose how often you want to pay. It's not a program where you have to spend a certain amount each month. It's up to you. You could do it weekly, you could do it twice a month, you can do it once a month. Whatever you want to set up is what's going to work for you. If you have to skip a payment, there's not going to be a penalty for that. I want this to work for you. Now, let me say this. If you can afford $50 a month, then you should not be doing this program. You should be getting on the company's Essential Rewards program, because you're going to get a lot more benefits there. You're going to get those free products after 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. You're going to get product credit back for free stuff. You might get those monthly freebies as well. So if you can do $50 a month or more, let's talk about getting you on that Essential Rewards program. But a lot of people can't do $50 a month. So this program is for you. So what is the plan? Okay, what's the program? This Vital Stuff is launching a brand new program, and we're calling it our VIP layaway. You guys have all heard of layaway before, but this layaway is tailored specifically to your budget and your needs and your shopping list. So here's what happens. You're going to pick how much you can afford, how often. You're going to get a list of items that you want, and then we're going to work that out for you. If it takes 1 month, if it takes 4 months, if it takes 9 months, it doesn't matter. You're just going to do that, and then we're going to be getting you your products at the lowest price possible with reduced shipping on a budget that you can afford. Now, say for instance your budget was $10 a month. You could get an oil in the first month. You saw that list. Many of those oils were $5, $6, $7. You could get one of those in your first month. In fact, if you got Lime, you would even have money roll over towards your second product that you wanted to get. So how are we doing that? It's because I'm going to do a combined monthly order. And we'll put everybody together in one order. I'll pay for that shipping. It comes to my house. I use your $3 shipping to send it off to you. So we're going to make that work.